Hello, and thanks everyone for joining our Community Connected by Change webinar. My name is Mark Hagan. I'm VP of Online Payments for Heartland and a longtime payments geek. And I'm going to be your host today. Little background about me that kind of qualifies me for doing this is that I come from a very strange set of jobs from programmer to dev evangelist to getting into the product side. And now I'm doing actual product delivery and leading a product organization under Zach Payne. So we're going to have some great guests today. It's going to be a pretty incredible experience. Hopefully you're all sitting down and are ready to enjoy this. But one thing I want you to know before we get started is that we're going to be giving away an Apple Watch Series 6 at the end after Q&A. So to qualify for that, you just need to be still logged in by the end of the presentation. So like I said, we've got some good things coming, and I'm going to take just a second to kind of walk through where we've come from, kind of pre-COVID, what happened during COVID to our industry, and maybe where we're going. And as Toby from The Office would like to say, kind of one of my favorite quotes from that vid is, "I'd like to start from the beginning, but I think we need to go back further." So I'm not going to go quite that far back, but I do want to start with maybe February, and that's where we had a lot of good things going. Heartland as a company had a lot of really great things going, actually. We had been building a payment experience that we want to use and our customers want to use, our merchants are wanting to use. So that means is that we had already been driving to where we thought the industry was going. We know more people were wanting to pay, wanting to buy online, pick up at Curve, pay with a wallet. We knew that those things were happening. We'd been building the tools. Those tools were in place pre-COVID to support that. I think the things I miss the most are just, leaving the house because I could, eating indoors, that sort of thing. So having done the dramatic shift with all of you, as I'm sure, this has been a pretty weird year for everyone. You kind of notice some of those trends really stop being things that we thought, yeah, that's probably what people are going to want to do, or we could see some people doing it. And if you go to where we are post-COVID, you get in that March, April, May timeframe, we had just a massive shift of our merchants and partners saying, all right, got to get online immediately, yesterday, as a matter of fact, to save my business. So when that happened, we already had a lot of those building blocks in place. That's what I was talking about with, we had the distribution into the major shopping carts. We already made it pretty easy to have a contactless experience, to do the buy on store, pick up online. So what we really noticed during COVID is the dramatic acceleration of everyone making that shift. It was less about, they're doing completely different things. It was more about now that we actually have a reason to switch and a requirement to switch to keep my business open, for example, people are making that switch. And the customers, we've gotten the driver's seat of that conversation and the government, I would guess too. But it used to be a decision where the merchant could say, I don't have the support people right now to really monitor another screen to look for online orders, or I don't want to do delivery or curbside pickup, or maybe I'll do my retail shop after the Christmas season, if the holiday season next year. That decision was taken out of their hands immediately, and we had just a mass of people that jumped into that boat at the exact same time that said, I need you to get me online. I need you to do it yesterday. And I have no idea what I'm doing. And that's going to be some of the themes that you hear throughout the presentation today are, what are those things? What are those things that we're working on as a group and have put in front of you as a team to make that easier for you? So if you think about some of the trends that we've seen, you have the dramatic shift from paper to plastic, as I like to call it, where you have customers who don't want to touch a dollar bill. I'm in that bucket. I have been for a long time. I always think they're gross, but mostly because I have kids and they're gross. So when I think about that shift during COVID, I mean, it is super important. If you think about industries that just don't take credit card historically, like your service professionals that come through, being able to provide them with a path and a tool set that just works, easy to set up, and allows them to make that shift from paper to plastic was critical. Contactless end-to-end. I like to say we have a high touch, no touch setup process with Heartland. And I think you're going to hear about some of that with the great speakers we've got lined up today. But people are looking for a contactless experience, whether that's your merchant's customer, the merchant, the partner, nobody wants to shake a hand right now. I miss the high fives the most, I think, but not. I don't miss them enough to break protocol here. So definitely something that people are looking for is that contactless experience, curbside friendly, end to end, and then letting the customer pay with their wallet. That's going to be a big deal going forward. I don't have to insert anything into any machines. Just feels a little more sanitary. And then I have like a personal one that I always bring up in all these presentations that I like to do, and that is don't make me download your app for like there's a bajillion of them, and I don't want to download your app. So at the same time, though, you need to make that experience mobile friendly. If it's a progressive web app, totally different story. But don't make me download like yet another app to buy, pizza or whatever that looks like. Our merchants are asking us for a simplified environment. If they're logging into 57 systems today, they're having to do more with less. That's a trend that we've seen. They want fewer things to have to train their people on, or for the business owner themselves to have to log into to manage their business, manage their orders and inventory and whatnot. Online versus card present, the face-to-face storefront, they want one experience, not a whole bunch of things scattered around. I always think of the installation experience with the merchant as like back in the day, you would have to have your nephew, your niece, your Geek Squad, or whomever, your neighborhood handyman, come install all your stuff for you. It was a super high touch experience. It took forever, and you had to get on people's schedules, and people were having to admin into Windows machines, tweak a bunch of settings for firewall just to enable payments. That's going to be a thing of the past. We're seeing a quick shift over to easier to use, easier to set up integrations. So talked a little bit about what you guys are going to listen to. So I want to introduce a couple of folks from my team, from the Heartland team that I know very well. Love working with these two. And first will be Emily Petty. She's a division manager of online payments. And then we're going to hear from Bruce Roberts, Spud, territory manager of online payments. And they're going to discuss some of the key meetings that they've had that are pretty specific to the environment. And basically, they're going to give you some examples of things that they've seen. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Emily.
Really appreciate you. Appreciate everything you do for the online payments division. I am proud to be able to call you a friend. There is no denying that the COVID-19 global pandemic has changed the world of e-commerce and online payments. We have changed the way we do business in just a few short months. This has been changing our livelihoods, our personal lives, and introducing the words social distancing and the new normal. There has never been a moment in our time that the right technology has been so critical in keeping businesses moving forward. We value our ability to uncover the right product for the right customer at the right time. That it's been a sort of motto that I have used for the past 5 years. It is so important that we take the time to listen to these business owners, ensure that we are understanding all of their needs, especially for long term, and then we're able to wrap that warm fuzzy blanket around them and take their hand and guide them into the future. Our consultant style way of selling leaves out the hard pressure sales tactics, and we genuinely help business owners. Frankly, it's what keeps us coming back and doing this. It is a very fulfilling way to help in these times. One of our top sellers during the rush of crazy is online ordering. We have been able to humbly serve all sorts of merchants due to the fact that we have many different partners that we integrate with. It goes all the way from a POS integration to needing a website built, Facebook ordering, mobile ordering apps, an iPod sitting on the counter with a kitchen printer. I mean, whatever it was that they needed and need today, we're able to bring that to the table. When COVID first hit and we were all sent home and doors started shutting, we reached out to several of our partners requesting a price break for our restaurant owners, and they proudly rose to the occasion. We were able to secure several who also felt the need and desire to help. It was a great success. And to add to this success, I am pleased to have Bruce Roberts tell us his great success story.
Thank you, Emily. I'm extremely grateful to be here and to be invited to take part in this conversation. As more consumers move to online and mobile ordering, it's no surprise that between late February and late March, buy online, pick up in store orders increased 87% year over year. Prior to the pandemic, there were many restaurants that never even had online ordering, a website, or even delivery. Quickly lifting and shifting business online started as a way to simply survive, but now is an important keystone for all restaurants to thrive. I heard this one specifically from my client and the owner of one of my favorite barbecue joints. Our original conversation was centered around an online ordering platform that he had chosen, and at the time, we only needed to set up a gateway and he could go live. After our first discussion, we found out that the initial platform would not be flexible enough for his business, nor would he be able to choose his merchant service provider. I got to work and quickly engaged with one of our partners to find out if they could help. Once I spoke to our partner, I found out that we were able to satisfy everything he needed, including an easy platform for his new delivery drivers. Now his online ordering account grows in revenue each and every month. This is incredible, right? He went from putting something in place to just survive to absolutely thriving, and I know he's going to be fine well into the future.
Additionally, another top seller is our hosted payment page. The versatility of this product is unmatched. It can vary from a simple payment page to advanced payment forms. Once again, it's the right product for the right customer at the right time. Getting that good discovery and ensuring it's going to be a long-term fit is so important. When we talk about great fit for so many merchants, we have some online donations are a top seller with this. Storage facilities, memberships, CPAs, gift cards, marinas. I mean, I could literally spend hours here telling you about the different type of businesses that we have on our hosted payment pages. Anyone that takes payments over the phone needs recurring credit card payments, text to pay, one-time payments, ACH payments. I mean, I could, like I said, I could keep talking about this.
Emily, you're absolutely correct. There are so many different ways and so many different business types that this particular product would be suited for. But one that comes to mind is a client of mine that just had to completely change how they were accepting payments. And I mean, let's be real here. Changing your thinking can be hard, especially if you're changing a process that's been a part of your day-to-day business life for, well, probably as long as you've been in business. Online payments isn't a new thing. Going from paper to digital isn't either, right? Well, what is new is the current environment and how it's changing how we think about and do business. A good example is a Moto client of mine who was initially looking for a more efficient way to accept payments from their clients. In the past, they'd only accepted checks or would occasionally have a client call in with a credit card on site. My client knew that how they were doing business was slowing down their cash flow and causing inefficiencies with their administration staff. It was also not conducive to the time, as contactless payment options are proving to be an imperative part of any business strategy. My curiosity led me to ask a few more questions about their process to determine where I'd be able to help the most. Now, we landed on a simple payment system that allowed their clients to click a link in an email to complete their payment. There was no paper, no mail, no contact, and the ability for their clients to pay 24/7 online. Now, in moving forward with the solution, I also noticed that they were being drastically overcharged in fees. After a more careful look, I realized that they were not receiving any interchange cost reductions due to the card types that they were accepting. Having the knowledge and capability to provide them with a more efficient payment acceptance process while helping to keep capital in their pocket during these difficult times was a huge win. 2020 has changed so many things, but it's also changed our thinking in incredible ways. It's made us more nimble, more innovative, and more curious. We have to question to improve. And for me, that's how we find the opportunities and the solutions that drive growth.
When I say the right product for the right customer, at the right time. It is truly awesome that we have the ability to do exactly that. Due to the pandemic, we had many customers need to automate their systems. They started creating their own way of doing things, but still needed a way to take payments. Heartland's answer to that is our open API. Yeah. Developers can custom code to our secure submit. Whenever I direct a developer to our dev portal, it is the joy that I hear from their voice, or the smile that I can see on their face is, oh my goodness, this is awesome. They can see how easy it is to get what they need and to get right to work for our mutual client. We have such an awesome team with our Secure Submit team. I can't imagine doing this job without their assistance. Shout out, you guys. You guys are amazing and a pleasure to work with. Really, really appreciate you. Bruce has a great partner that did just that. Bruce, take it away.
As salespeople, I believe that we all find more often than not that our clients really just want a genuine human experience. A person who will work with them as they grow or help them find solutions for their unique business challenges. Someone who can provide the insight and direction that helps to simplify the complexities in their lives. A good example of this is a pest control client of mine. I learned that they were extremely curious about their credit card transactions and how they were being charged. They didn't understand the charges and really needed someone that they trusted who could provide them with an honest answer. So I listened. I asked a few questions. I found out what their business challenges were. I answered questions, and I found a solution. And we built trust through that whole process. In the end, we found that a direct integration from their business management software into our Secure Submit gateway was the most effective way to reduce the fees they were seeing on their monthly statement and help sustain their business long term. Is the moral of this story about saving money, or about how online payments help to streamline their business processes? Or maybe, quite simply, it's about the emphasis on establishing and nurturing a business relationship to deliver a simplified solution. Yep, I think that's it.
Awesome job, buddy. In recent readings, I keep seeing the need for omnichannel solutions. They are crucial for the new normal and for thriving businesses. We are creating conversations around the need to have a way to take, payments online, small e-commerce stores, invoicing, POS, mobile pay, etc. Our answer to this need is Heartland for Service Professionals. While the product has new features coming out almost weekly, it has been able to serve and help provide solutions to automate manual processes and get paid faster. It has never been more important to help our merchants shorten their AR cycle and provide a one-stop solution for the omni-channel that they need. Now here's Bruce to tell you how he recently was able to help out. Take it away, Bruce.
Recently, I worked with a dance studio who was using too many platforms to run their business. In an effort to simplify their lives and run their business more efficiently, they added more platforms to try to solve their various business challenges, which in turn added more cost, more complexity, and let's be honest here, much more frustration. They knew it was taking too much time, costing too much money, and taking them too far away from what they love the most, which is dance. But coupled with their business having to pivot quickly to online classes, they were just too overwhelmed by change, especially with the thought of changing their process and or their platforms. Once I explained how much easier their lives would be if they could handle online payments, digital invoicing, scheduling, reporting, and even their e-commerce store all in one place online, they simply decided to lean into the change rather than run from it, which they now tell me that they are 100% glad that they did. Change certainly is scary, but those who listen to trusted advice, adopt new technologies, and lean in are always more likely to grow into the future.
That was great. Like I said before, I work with these two all the time. They're the best. Before we jump into Q&A, and before we give away an Apple Watch Series 6, which will be just after the Q&A, I kind of want to just do a recap of things that I've heard during this presentation here. So some of the themes I'm hearing are merchants are doing far more with less. That's probably true for all of us, but they're doing a lot more things with fewer headcount, fewer resources, fewer orders coming in, whatever that happens to look like. So having the correct tools for that merchant that needs the assistance right now is more important than ever before. Merchants are also looking for the best solutions that are specific to their business, their industry. It's not a one-size-fits-all type of solution anymore that they're looking for. They want something from a service professional. We've heard that theme on there from both Bruce and Emily. I want something built for service professionals, somebody that understands the nuance of generating not just an electronic invoice, but an estimate before that, or a work order. Those are more and more important than ever. And we're also seeing that our partners and other integrators are looking to us to say, hey, how can we join forces to help out the industry, to help out, whether it's an online ordering company, how do we help our merchants get onto your platform for payments more quickly? And we've definitely streamlined those processes, as a lot of our sales reps have seen and noticed, to make it faster, easier, more hands-free to get online with ordering than ever before. And that same tone, they're looking for something that's ready to install immediately. And if you've never seen the Heartland integration process, getting a online store up and running with a Heartland plugin, that's like download, configure, and test. Download, install, configure, test, that whole process. It takes less than 5 minutes on some of the leading platforms on the planet. We have 650 plus integrations that are exactly like that. We're either already baked in, we're the default payment provider of that platform, or we're one plugin away from a merchant being able to just set up and go. It's a really, really good position to be in. Merchants, another theme I heard there from both, again, is that people are looking for fewer integration points than they currently have. They want 1, 2, or 3 tools to power their business and not 37. So as friction reduces, we can make that install, the better. And a lot of times that is putting the right product in front of them that has all kinds of functionality, and maybe we hide some of the stuff that they don't use so it doesn't look overwhelming. Got to keep it simple. Keeps the training costs down, makes it easier for somebody to just pick it up and go. That customer experience is our focus, and it has been for years. We've been working directly with our merchants, with their customers. What do you want? What are you looking for? If a customer tells you they want to pay you in seashells, let us help you figure out how to start converting seashells to cash. We want to be that consultant that Bruce talked about, and that's where Heartland's unique high touch but contactless support model really scales well in a COVID world where people are just they're looking for an expert. They don't want you to come knock on the door though. They just want somebody who can address their problems, be that ear that can listen, and then ask pointed questions, bi-directional conversation about how to get their business from bricks to clicks as fast as possible, because their customers are demanding it. Okay, so I want to kick things over to QA. Just remember, we're giving away an Apple Watch just after. We already have a couple of questions. Looks like 3 questions that have come in. If you have questions, there's a chat on the right side. Let's see, a couple of people have posted in here already. Corey, Charlene. So thank you for that. Just keep adding questions if you have any. We're going to answer them as we go. So let me start with one from Annabelle, and also I'm bringing Emily and Bruce back into the conversation. Are you guys on?
We are.
Hey, welcome. Okay, let's start with this one. Will Heartland be changing any of their product gateway technical requirements due to the new social environment? The answer to that is yes. I'll take that one because I do have a pretty deep roots in the technology side. Like I just talked about, we care about the experience, and that experience doesn't stop with a customer giving you their credit card or a merchant boarding through a boarding portal. That's something that we've put together that makes it easier in a post-COVID world. It actually matters whenever we're talking about things like certifying and integration. Well, we're trying to deliver an experience to our developers and to our merchants to get to that I'm live moment. I'm taking credit cards in production moment as fast as possible. So we've really been whittling down some of the time that it takes to get those integrations into production. Having the right staff there to help them out, very important. removing the need to call. This is more of a merchant feature, but removing the need for a merchant to call their customers if a credit card expires. You'll see things like account updater, level 3 that are put together to reduce interchange costs, as Bruce talked about earlier, things that we're just doing on behalf of our merchants. And then you'll see things like auto account updater that coming out, where if the last thing these billing merchants want to do is on the 15th of the month have to call 30 people to say, hey, your credit card expired, or was marked stolen, or for whatever reason I couldn't process your card. Because that's the moment as a consumer when I'm going to scratch my head and say, ooh, did I really need a gym membership where I've forgotten the address to over the last year because I haven't gone, or a magazine subscription, like why am I still subscribing to magazines type thing? And it's an opportunity for that card to just automatically update on our end, so our merchants don't have to have that tough conversation with their customer. Again, reducing that contact point. That goes beyond COVID. That's more of a that's got a benefit across the board that has nothing to do with COVID. The next question I have, and I'm going to kick this one over to Emily and Bruce, but what are the constant factors used to develop strategies for achieving and maintaining success as an entrepreneur?
Biggest things, we believe is listening to your customers, finding out the way that your customers, want to pay, being nimble, being able to pivot very quickly, and being able to have a partner that helps you pivot quickly. Bruce, what do you have to add to that?
I think with Heartland, our ability in our software and technology, being able to access and provide a few different options that are available to you that you may not have been able to use, and being able to swiftly transition to those platforms when you need it, I think is a huge leg up that Heartland offers.
Yeah, those are some really good points. Yeah, that's great, guys. Thank you. So the next question I have, and I've got some coming in the chat, so I'm going to get through this one, and then we'll go through some of the chat questions. With developers wanting to get to market sooner with payment solutions, both EMV and online, how is Heartland helping them? Is there a standardization on the process to provide an omni-channel certification? Certification is one of those words that really only payments people know. And it's unfortunate whenever we have to bring that word into a conversation with someone else. So Joe Wysocki and Shane Logston and Emily, Bruce, and a lot of us on the online side and Web Greeble over the years have said, how do we stop having that awkward conversation of like, you finish your integration, you know that it works, but we're going to have you jump through some more hoops before you actually get to production. We've actually already whittled that process down dramatically for those developers that are using semi-integrated products, which just is an easy way to take a credit card payment, but also keep sensitive data off your off of your network. And in the online side, secure submit, keeping sensitive data off of your web servers and also your network. Using those tools, we've got it down to just a quick validation. So it's not even it's not some full-blown, weird, drawn-out process. It's instead a much more quick, streamlined. You're talking to the developers when you have questions. That's very rare that happens, but it's available to our ISVs. But we have the right tools there for them. And you see that in practice with the work that Bill Foltz has got on Heartland Restaurant, Retail, Register, where his environment is omnichannel. He has online components for ordering. He also has the in-store presence with a point of sale system. It's one mid, easy integration. Standing up boarding portals will be the next phase of all of our product for multi-location. When you do encounter a multi-location situation and you don't want to fill out a whole bunch of paper forms because it's 2020. So we're doing a lot of things to make it easier for people to convert. Let's go to the chat real quick. Scroll all the way up, and you guys get to hear me kind of scroll through here. So if you're looking for Corey, if you're wanting to add to your business and you don't believe your rep is still available, you can reach out to either of the other two people on this call. Talk to Bruce or Emily. We'll be sending some contact info after here, so you can get in touch with us in case you guys have more questions. We're always available for that. Let's see. Talking through mobile pay, looking for suggestions for curbside touchless transactions. This is for Lori, has a wine store, and mobile transactions, when you're using a lot of the integrations that are out there, We had one, the solution that you were probably on using, what's the C2X reader from BBPause. We are actively and quickly working to get to make sure that that connectivity between your phone and the device is as stable as possible. You're going to see a lot of changes coming on that front. And again, we had been going down that path of making sure that our mobile experience was as awesome as our online experience, was as awesome as our at the counter experience, but it just wasn't there yet. It was good, it functions, but there's more that had to be done, and those changes have already begun rolling out. And that was a big adjustment that we made to our product roadmap starting in late February, early March, where we just said, all right, throw the roadmap out. We've got to be here where our merchants need us the most and when they need us the most. So Mona, I'm guessing when you're talking about refunds causing issues with card on files expiring or changed, you're talking about the account updater piece. So can we refund to a new card? So that is functionality that can be done. But that said, that has to be enabled on the account to be able to refund to a card that wasn't used in processing. It's a security thing on our side to keep people from just issuing refunds off of a merchant's account, but it absolutely can be enabled. And you can talk to your sales rep to do that. Let's see. Here's a great one for Bruce and Emily. Other than the dance studio that Bruce mentioned, what are some other success stories for Heartland for Service Professionals? Emily, can you and Bruce pick that one up?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've had some interesting ways that we've been able to utilize this. We have several boutiques have been able to utilize this with, again, the small e-commerce stores. This isn't necessarily to replace an entire web store, but if you're selling a few different items, especially if your items are changing, can be a great fit. Interesting enough, when somebody said liquor store, we do have some kind of custom IPA beers, and things like that, when they may create one or two or three and then be able to sell online pretty quickly. So it's been very very versatile within the different success stories that we have. What have you seen lately, Spud?
Not to mention landscaping is one that we've seen a couple of times where they've got the work order piece, be able to prop up and send out the invoice immediately. But then maybe they sell a couple of bags of mulch, right? Or maybe they sell sod pallets and they want to have that as an option to pay for. So they're able to prop up a small store with doing that all within the one program. So we've seen a lot of interesting businesses utilize that product.
Yeah, I'll throw a few more in there. You have trash pickup companies that are using it. We have people using it for recurring payments to be able to handle subscriptions for gym memberships or whatever that might look like. A lot of lawyers are using it to pay for some of the upfront and hourly costs. Anything that could really be generated by an electronic invoice, the system's capable of processing. Major changes coming for that product on a regular cadence. We do feature Thursdays on there where we're just rolling out new things, fixing or enhancing old things that people are using the heck out of. It's a very, very robust system that does scale outside of professional services and service companies that are doing, your landscaping, plumbers, electricians. It's being used by a lot of people right now, and beyond that application, because it does have recurring subscriptions, invoicing, an online store, a hosted payment page, and people are set up and ready to assist with the installation for those right now. It's actually pretty great. All right, let's take another question here. Do we have any training for setting up stores and adding products? New to this position, want to know if you guys have any training. This is from Kimberly. And doing school stores. Kimberly, reach out to your online payment rep or your rep, and they should be able to put you in contact with somebody that can get you set up for training, because we do have, whether it's a video walkthrough for a lot of our plugins and integrations, just depends on what platform you're working on, but somebody will be there to assist you and hold your hand through that process if you need it, or as much as you need it, to get you up and running as quickly as possible. We built these tools, by the way. These are these things that we've talked about, the Service Professional product, all the shopping cart integrations, the majority of the shopping cart integrations at least. These are things that were built by my team, are supported by my team. We're the team that they talk to and you talk to whenever you have questions. There'll be somebody either on the online payment stack or over on Emily and Bruce's squad. So we are the one throat to choke, as they say, and we're definitely there for you during your installation time. All right, Greg asked, can we talk about the changes on the card associations, the card brands regarding signature requirements on receipts? Any of that compliance related things that have come out as part of the October compliance changes, or even some of the stuff that's coming out next year around like NACHA rule changes with the Verify stuff or ACH payments, which is obviously supported in our products as well. But I can't really speak as the expert on that. So Greg, I'm going to have to get back with you on the signature requirements for receipts. And really, specifically, I think what you're asking is, how does that impact your disputes or your chargebacks? And if it's not a requirement, why did we ask for it? And that gets into this weird user experience conversation. As a customer of your product, do I expect that I need to sign, and does it feel more secure if I go that path? Still research to be done there. Those are the type of things that we work into our credit card experience in general. If I'm on my cell phone and I click into a credit card box and the keyboard pops up, I've clearly made a mistake, because that should be the numeric keypad, not my keyboard. I'm not sending you an email, writing a thesis. I just want to type in the numbers, so make it easy to do that. So there are pieces where reducing that friction makes complete sense. And I think signature is one of those. It's one that's been like a weird pain point for me forever. It's like, why am I still doing this? I'm literally just squiggling a line across, and how could that possibly provide value? But understanding what customers in general are used to and what they're expecting out of the experience, we're going to see a lot of that stuff shift. I don't want to hold a receipt to sign it or a gross pen from a counter any more than I want to hand you cash, right? And that feels like one of those touch points that just has to disappear at some point. It looks like that's all the questions that we've accumulated so far. So if you guys think of more, make sure that you reach out to us. Those were really good questions, by the way, very pumped up. And thanks again for Bruce and Emily for jumping on here and helping out. I'm going to do the winner selection. I think I've already got one picked out in here. And before I do that, though, I do want to say, make sure you register for the next Community Connected. It's going to be coming up here November the 12th at 11 a.m. Eastern. It's a two-part bit. Products and partners driving strong business. And I talked about some of those partner things like boarding portals and that experience being amazing. And then the second part is going to be the digital marketing power of automation. So make sure you guys click to register if you haven't already. And let's go ahead and do our winner here. So the winner today, drum roll, it's the best drum roll I can get. You really can't hear it with headphones on, but it was great, is going to be Scott McKay. So congratulations, Scott. You are the proud new owner of an Apple Watch Series 6, and we will be contacting you through the email that you used to sign on here. So again, thanks to everybody for showing up. Can't wait to hear what questions you come up with, or what things you learned, or whatever you might want more detail on, or just want to shoot the stuff. Always available. And with that, everyone have a great afternoon.